right, let's jump into some segments. All right, so any of you two fan of Game of Thrones?
I've never watched it.
You never watched Game of Thrones?
No.
I find that hard to believe. Travis, help me here.
No, I've not seen
Oh
it.
my God, both of you guys?
I've not seen it either.
Oh my gosh. Okay, you guys, it's like 100 episodes, but you should check out Game of. I mean, so my wife is not like a sci-fi fantasy kind of person, and she really liked it.
Yeah.
Like she totally got into it, and it really is a fantastic series.
I've heard a lot of good things about
Yeah.
it.
Well, the only thing to remember is like the first 7 seasons are like amazing, and the last season sucked. Like they totally crapped the bed on the ending.
Is it a fantasy or is it?
Yeah, it's fantasy. It's like it's kind of like a Lord of the Rings, but less magic-y, I guess. Like it's more like a drama, you know. Like the character development is amazing, and you see these people over a span of 8 years, and so the character like development is just like really unprecedented, I think, in television. It's almost like kind of Breaking Bad-ish, you know, how the characters change, and it's like, you know, it's not just pure action. I mean, it's like a drama, but like it's really good. So
that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth at least if you have any interest whatsoever. It is a great show. But all right, so what I guess I'm going to talk about, you guys. I thought you guys would be like, oh yeah, Sophie Turner. So Sophie Turner is a character on Game of Thrones, and she has had some plastic surgery controversy in the last couple years. And I didn't hear about this. I loved her character in the show. She has like a great character that just has this awesome character development. So she's absolutely one of my favorites. And when she started the show in season 1, she was only 14 years old. Okay. And then the show went basically 9 years. So she was 23 when it ended. And after the show ended, I kind of lost track of her. Like I didn't watch any other shows that she was in. So I hadn't really heard anything about her. And then she suddenly popped up in my social media feeds due to an interview she did with Vogue UK or Vogue Europe, and it was talking about plastic surgery rumors, and I was like, oh, Sophie Turner had some sort of plastic surgery controversy, you know? Because it has to be something pretty big, right? If they're talking about it. I mean, because people go out and get, you know, a boob job or something, and no one ever knows. But I mean, I was like, wow, something big must have happened. So then I started thinking, okay, well, did she change in the show and I just didn't remember it? So I went back and looked, and I brought up that first picture I think is her in the show. All right, so the picture on the left is her 14 years old, season 1. Picture on the right is her at like 23 years old, season 7 or 8, I guess. And I was like, yeah, I don't really see a whole lot there. Like she looks pretty normal. And so then I was like, okay, well, I got to figure out what they're talking about. So I started to pull up pictures of her year after year after the show. So throw up the next one, Charles. This is her in 2021. It's like, her hair color's different, but I
already know what she had done.
Huh?
I said I already know what she had done.
You can tell in that picture? You can tell from the first picture. Yeah. All right. So go from 2021 to 2022. So I was like, whoa, it looks like she had buccal fat removal, which we've talked about in the past, which is where you take fat out of the cheeks to get that kind of chiseled, defined look. And in this picture, she's actually...
Is she married to Joe Jonas?
Yes, she was. They got divorced. She actually is pregnant in this picture, and like pretty pregnant, like not like about to have a baby pregnant.
Her face should be like a little bit plumper.
Yes, right? And I was like, holy crap, it looks like that she had a buccal fat removal. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm kind of sad right now because like that 21 picture, she just, you know, looks amazing. In this, I'm not as big of a fan. Of course, if that's what she wants to do, obviously her choice. And so, you know, she was in this Vogue magazine, and it said that she addresses these rumors. And of course, you know, so I'm having to like read through this like big long thing, which is fine. It was kind of interesting actually, but she didn't actually deny that she had surgery. You know, her explanation was that she admitted she had like this eating disorder. She was bulimic, and she says when you're bulimic, like your face gets really swollen, and then when I quit being bulimic, it went back to normal, and that's why I look like that. And I was like, what? I was like, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And then she didn't actually, you know, say that she didn't have plastic surgery. She's like, oh yeah, people are saying I have plastic surgery, and I think maybe it's because of this bulimia I had, but then I'm not bulimic. And like none of it made any sense to me. And I was like, yeah, I don't know if I buy that. I mean, throw up that picture of the side-by-side, Travis, from like literally 1 year to the next.
It looks like she has a nose job.
I didn't even notice that. I mean, maybe.
Her nose at the bottom looks like on on the left, it looks a little bit more like bulbous, and then on the
Yeah.
on the
you know,
right,
you're not
it looks
wrong.
very slender.
Look
at
at
the
you,
bottom.
Sarah, picking up things I didn't even notice.
But it could be makeup. But
yeah, it could be contouring for sure.
But
I
it
mean,
just
to
looks
me, like
smaller.
her cheeks look just, I mean, night and day difference from.
She looks like Morticia.
I'm not sure that's the look she may have been going for.
Yeah, I know. But I feel like when people get their buccal fat removal, they look like Morticia.
Yeah, I think that she did have it. I mean, in order for someone to look like that naturally, they would have to be basically malnourished. And she's pregnant, like probably 6 or 7 months pregnant in that
Yeah.
picture. And I just don't buy it. Like
I definitely had
do
a
think
plump
she,
face whenever I had a plump face
Yeah,
when
I mean,
was
that's-
pregnant, and my nose got wider from like cartilage getting.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow. So, and it went back to normal? Interesting. Yeah.
yeah. My face was super.
So I think that she did have it. You know, of course, I don't know that for sure. I mean, you know, maybe it's something different. But I mean, it certainly looks like that she had it. You know, in that picture on the right, I mean, I would have to assume she weighs more in that picture, 7 months pregnant, than she did in the left picture from 2021.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think she probably did do it, which is fine. I mean, if you want to do buccal fat removal or any other plastic surgery, go for it. But of course, you know, being a superstar
Yeah,
actress.
I feel like in this day and age, it's like, why are you lying about it?
Yeah, you know, we've talked about that before. I
There's
think
no
if that,
reason for it
if people
anymore.
go and do procedures, and there's somebody that people look up to. I mean, if someone asked you outright, I mean, I think that you should be honest.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like, well,
I honestly feel like we should just assume that all celebrities have
had
cosmetic.
plastic surgery.
Yeah.
I think that that's probably safe.
Like
to
it's just
assume.
like,
I mean, it's like, you know, I
oh,
think
you
about.
look perfect. Oh, it's because you have a lot of money and you spend.
Yeah, I mean, I think about my friend group. I mean,
Yeah.
almost all of them have had plastic surgery. At least the females
Yeah.
have, and like the males. Like, I mean, I do laser treatments myself. You know, so it's like, you know, it's like everyone's doing it. So like, what's the big deal?
Yeah.
To admit that you've had it done. But I guess some people like want to give this perceived thing that's natural, or whatever. And so I was just going to talk for a minute about buccal fat removal because were you here?
We
with us?
talked about it.
We talked about it. Okay, so buccal. So this is the buccal region right here in your cheeks, this area here. And so with buccal fat removal, what they do is they make an incision inside the mouth and they actually hollow out some of that fat in order to get that really, that look. Which I personally, here.
Yeah.
Well, that's me with buccal fat removal. I personally am not a huge fan of that. I mean, to me, it looks kind of unnatural. I don't do buccal fat removal. I wouldn't do them as a plastic surgeon, not because they're complicated, because they're not. They're actually really, really simple surgeries, and you can make big money doing them. I have two concerns with buccal fat removal. One, I think most people are going to want a bigger effect than a very subtle effect, which is the only thing I think would be good to do. I mean, if someone's going to do this, it should be subtle. Like, that to me is not subtle at all.
It looks like she almost got buccal fat removal and fillers on her cheeks.
Yeah, I mean, and maybe she did get some fillers, and that's making it, you know, more noticeable.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think a lot of people that get buccal fat removal, Chrissy Teigen's the one that, you know, admitted to having it done, and I did not like the way she looked personally. I mean, everything is, you know, different strokes for different folks. But I just think it makes people look, you know, unusual.
Yeah, I don't think you've ever had a good thing to say about buccal fat.
I never have. Like, and then my bigger
It's up there
concern.
with BBLs.
Yeah, I know. Well, at least the buccal fat removal won't kill you.
You can't die.
Yeah, you're not going to die like with BBL. My bigger concern with buccal fat removal is as we age, the tendency is for our cheeks to hollow out.
Yeah.
And so, well, one, I mean, doing buccal fat removal to me makes you look older. But two, if you get it done when you're young, like, what are you going to look like when naturally that fat starts to reabsorb? I mean, you're going to look like Skeletor.
Exactly.
You're going to look like a skeleton.
Morticia.
Yeah, or like way like worse than that. So I think what we're going to see in 10 to 20 years is people like super regretting that they had this done. Or what they're going to have to do is go back and do fat grafting. They're going to have another surgery to correct this thing that they've done to themselves. Which, I mean, yeah, you can do that, but I don't know. I think at the end of the day, buccal fat removal is not going to be.
It's not the way to go.
Yeah, it's not the way to go. So I mean, it's not dangerous. It's just I just don't like the aesthetics of it. And I think there's going to be some long-term problems with it. So.
Like if somebody wants to like get like that effect, would you tell them to get fillers instead of
I mean, you can get that effect by doing, cheek fillers.
Yeah.
Like we use Voluma, and I think Voluma is a great product. Like it's good for people, especially as you get like to more middle age, like 40s. the mid-face will start to fall a bit. And so doing just a little bit of filler right here, if you can do it and it can look totally natural. I have clients that I do it for. I don't do a ton of Botox and filler anymore because I have like a team of people at the med spa that do it. But I have a couple people that like have been with me forever, and so I'm not going to, dump in these patients.
But like you would recommend that probably over buccal
I
fat.
would.
If they want that like effect.
Yeah, I mean, I personally wouldn't recommend someone do buccal fat removal, and I won't do them even though they're not like really complicated surgeries.
Yeah.
I think if you want to do a little bit of filler, like that will accomplish what you want to do.
I agree.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm just kind of against buccal fat removal, and I'm not the only one. Like, there's a lot of plastic surgeons that are just not fans of this. So anyway, I just wanted to recap this segment really quickly. So today we were talking about Sophie Turner of Game of Thrones and the controversy around her having plastic surgery. And I went and looked at her pictures from 2021 to 2022, and I do think that she had buccal fat removal, where you remove fat from the cheeks here to get that chiseled look. And I am not a fan of buccal fat removal. I'm not alone. Many plastic surgeons are not. I have concerns about the fact that it makes people look more aged and sometimes looks unusual if it's not done just perfectly. And then my long-term concerns is, what are you going to look like as you age when the cheeks naturally hollow out? I think you're going to really not like it and have a really natural look. So I personally am against buccal fat removal. I mean, I don't think it's crazy to get it, but I just think it's probably not a good idea. So.
Yeah.